Okay, so we're going to get right to the point without going over the history of it, although I'll be happy to do that later, or if I can find the video on it. I'll explain to you why the guitar started out as a four-stringed instrument with the two bass strings later on added, and why the guitar is based on two chords, starting with the G chord and its form, and then the E chord, which again came after they added the bass notes. One big mistake that guitarists do is that they look at the notes from the bass notes on up. But actually, the way the guitar works to be on a professional level of visualization is that the higher strings are the building blocks. So even though we're lower to the ground, this is a higher sound. So when even making your basic chord, you think upside down, and you think in terms of intervals regardless of their register. So anyway, we can get into more of how this all is later on. In the meantime, let's focus on how to actually get you to relax on a lot of the speculative stuff you've learned and get right into the position. Now, the guitar is a really pretty simple instrument, and when you play the guitar with the advantages of that the guitar actually has, rather than trying to play it for horn arrangements or for a keyboard player, pianist, where you have to play in non-guitar core keys, you lose what you eventually have to go back to if you really want to play rock and blues guitar and feel comfortable and sound great too, because certain places on the neck, as you know, sound different, and certain keys sound different. Now, one other quick note is that there is a difference between an A sharp and a B flat. So the difference is a microtone. A classical violinist will play a little lower on the string for an A sharp than a B flat. So what is the difference? Because on the guitar, you're going to play the exact same fret right here. Wait, where is it? Right here. So you're going to play the same fret for A sharp. I'm sorry, what did I say? A sharp or B flat? Right, it'll be right here. So you'd play the same note. So the way it works is that the guitar is a sharp instrument. In other words, that is actually an A sharp and not a B flat. Now, when playing most things with all, especially electric instruments and all the phasing and everything else like that, you're really not gonna really notice. However, it is something that you feel, and so what is that feeling? Well, it's that sharp keys are happy. Flat keys are more reflective or sad. So the sharp key, so the guitar is a sharp instrument. Now, of course, if you tune it down a half step, now you've turned it into a flat instrument, and the microtones between the notes in between the notes are different. And people speculate on all the guitarists that got into barbiturates and whiskey, and they were all the ones that tuned their guitars to turn it into a flat instrument. But it is basically a sharps instrument, and in that sharps, you can just understand this by looking at the cycle of fifths. The cycle of fifths and the main chords on guitar, which are C. They happen to be the chords for Hey Joe. And just going right around them, cycle of fifths. C, no sharps or flats. G, one sharp. D, A, E, and then B. So those are the main chords on guitar. Why? Because guitar is a sharp instrument. It's a happy instrument, at least the way it's tuned in A440. So you're not going to take the guitar up to the stratosphere while it's compensating or handicapping for other instruments and other theory systems that don't apply to guitar. So with that in mind, I'm going to go straight to the point. There's three sounds that guitar makes. One is happy. And we're going to play in the key of C. And one is sad. And just like the three primary colors, one is causal. Oh, I'm sorry. The seventh chord. So those are the three primary sounds. At this point, you're probably wondering, if I'm not giving you the prelude, imagine what the prelude would be. No, the thing of the G and the E form, I take you through how all the songs, how it all developed, and it's really fun. It's really fun. We'll do it another time. But in the meantime, you've got these three primary sounds: happy, sad, seventh, or causal. Just like the three primary colors, or in electricity, positive, negative, and ground. Now, the flat 7 and the flat 5 are the two blues notes. So you got your flat 5 here and your flat 7. And then the minor third also, to some degree, but you're always bending that up. So these are the tones: happy, sad, and in blues it's always over the tritone sound, which is the devil's interval, because that is a causal bed of possibilities. Just like to make a pure one, sorry, just hangs in there like what's going to happen next. So that is the ground. And that was outlawed by the kings for hundreds of years, and finally the last century we decided it was going to be okay, and we actually made a system of music called blues that is based on only devil's interval chords. So every chord is a devil's interval. And sorry, I keep missing because I'm looking at the camera. So over that, I gave you the structure of the 12 notes of the blues exercise, because blues is not really actually, it's an exercise. It's not, I mean, you could say, okay, I wrote a song or whatever, but it's an exercise. So what you play over that is you don't have to worry about the causal. You play happy, sad, happy, sad. Now what's happy? Happy is the E form. Sad, or reflective, depending on how you deal with it, is the G form. Now, when I say sad, I don't mean sad like minor blues. We're not talking about minor blues here. We're talking about playing the minor third over your, seventh. Okay, so sorry. So So that's what we're talking about, and we're talking about going back and forth from the G form, which in this case will be sad, although again it's more reflective. It's not like a full-on minor sadness. And it's connected to the relative minor. Now again, these concepts are pretty deep, but the theory work has been done to put you into the professional standard and understanding of blues playing. So let's go over first the E form and the G form, and then we're going to go over the E form and the G form in the pocket. So normally your G form, just like the G chord, jeez, I can't see with this light here, I'm sorry. So it's just like if you were playing like a G chord here. Play that exact thing. Four, three, two, one. Right down. You hear how you started floating the string there. So you just move it a little bit. Anyway. It's a little awkward playing in this position. I'm not really warmed up, but so I'm not going to like kind of probably jam out too well for you. But that's the idea. And the E form is just like the E chord. And your orientation here, like you would with your normal minor pentatonic, is the first finger. So when you're in the G form, your pinky is on the root. When you're on the E form, your first finger's on the root. So you would go back and forth. But let's first show you what the E form is. The full-on E form is the Mixolydian altered ninth. And it's really all 12 notes. You must know all the notes, like the months in the year. And when you play faster, and when you play over the tritone, the blues, the seventh chord, then, you know, anything goes. And the faster you play, too, the more chromatics or all of the notes you can use. But basically, it's pretty simple. You're going to just go... And of course the major third is going to be right here. And then, or you could go. For now, I guess we'll just, so. The dog is scratching at the door. It's distracting me, but that's okay. I'm going to continue without stopping. So. You got, and there is your E form. And you got your G form. Sorry. So you go back and forth. And then G form. All right. Now we take those and we go into the pocket. But I'm going to have to stop the video and begin it again.